Oftentimes people make the comparison on which editing software you should be using. Maybe it's Premiere Pro, maybe it's DaVinci Resolve, or maybe it's even Final Cut Pro. But no one seems to be talking about what editing software will open more doors, create more opportunities, and overall future-proof you going forward. Now, when I started freelancing 4 years ago, I was using DaVinci Resolve and I absolutely loved it. It got me straight into the door as it's free of charge. And that's what exposed me to video editing. And when it comes to DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro, there's advantages and disadvantages to both. DaVinci Resolve has some of the industry-leading color grading capabilities, so much so that there are professionals that will edit in Premiere Pro and then move their footage over to DaVinci just to color grade it. It is that good. And Premiere Pro has a lot more features packed into the editing software, such as keyframe animation, that in DaVinci Resolve you'd have to go over to a separate tab called Fusion just to be able to ease out your keyframes, which I found a bit tedious. In Premiere, you can do that within the editing tab. The Fusion tab in DaVinci is like the After Effects equivalent, but it uses a node system. It doesn't use a layering system. So it can be really confusing and tedious if you're a beginner. There's tons of AI features in Premiere Pro, such as the auto transcribe to text, which I think DaVinci added last year, but it's nowhere near as accurate or doesn't have as many settings on it. There's also the remix tool, which is another AI feature, which can extend the length of a music clip using AI, which I tend to use quite a lot. The ability to move workspace windows to customize the layout of Premiere Pro, the simplicity of creating and saving presets. And right now, Premiere Pro has so many plugins that can really help your editing, but DaVinci Resolve I found doesn't have as many. When I say they have more plugins, I mean there are thousands more plugins that are game-changing as a video editor compared to DaVinci Resolve. But in terms of the final result, both softwares can achieve pretty much the same result. One software might be slightly more tedious than the other, but if you can achieve pretty much the same result regardless of what editing platform you use, that brings me to my next question. Why is the industry standard still using Premiere Pro? To the point where if you explain, look, I can use DaVinci Resolve, you'll be discarded, even though you could be a great editor on other platforms. So I was struggling to find clients, and about 3.5 years ago, I decided to switch to Premiere Pro to open up more opportunities. And since I started using Since I started using Premiere Pro, I started using the Adobe Suite and the other applications, and I started realizing in my mind why a lot of content creators and also a lot of corporate companies prefer to use the Adobe Suite as a whole. First of all, the Adobe Suite has tons of apps you can integrate with Premiere Pro. It has After Effects, which is incredible for VFX, motion tracking, 3D camera tracking, and loads of other features. It has Adobe Photoshop, which you can integrate with Premiere Pro, which a lot of editors do use, believe it or not. The Adobe Suite now has over 20 applications alone, which covers pretty much everything you would need. Adobe is also years ahead when it comes to AI integration, and their new Adobe Firefly software is an incredible new software that they just released as well, which allows you to do text prompts and it just creates anything from text. But more importantly, Adobe has some of the best team collaboration tools and packages available, making it easy for co-workers to jump in and out of projects, collaborate with you as well. And from my experience, it's the most reliable software you could use if you're working in a team. So more importantly, what should you get at this? Well, if DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro can achieve similar results, then if you're a beginner, why not go with Premiere Pro? If it opens up more doors for you in the future, gives you more opportunities, then why not go for that software? Now, of course, you can land jobs with DaVinci Resolve, but in my experience, almost every company or creator, depending on what field you want to go in, wants you to use the Adobe Suite and wants you to take advantage of their applications. If you're using DaVinci Resolve, it will be a lot harder to land clients, or even if you're trying to apply for jobs, because most companies, even if you say to them, look, I'm a great DaVinci Resolve editor, they want someone to be in Premiere Pro for them team collaborations and for the features that the Adobe Suite has. 4 years ago, I was struggling to get clients, and now I work for the top 1% of content creators. And for me, this is my full-time job. I freelance full-time now. And I would be lying if I said switching to Premiere didn't help me achieve that and didn't open that door for me. Now, if you're editing for personal reasons, then DaVinci Resolve is a good option. There's a free version, it gets you into the door and it exposes you to what editing is like. Maybe you want to try it out, and in that case, I'd recommend using DaVinci. And if you enjoy it, then you can purchase a Premiere subscription. But I wanted to make this video because many people don't talk about what software gives you better opportunities. They just talk about the features and the negatives of them platforms. But ultimately, Both are really good softwares. It's just Premiere Pro, in my opinion, is future-proof and it's the better platform to go for. I've worked on both platforms for years. I do slightly side with Premiere Pro, and because the Adobe Suite in the whole grand scheme of things is really good. Adobe also has almost weekly updates improving every software in that Adobe Suite. Be sure to take this advice as you wish, and be sure to subscribe for more editing videos, and I'll catch you guys soon. Take care.